Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I want to talk to you about why a healthy dose of not caring can not only help you become happier, more successful, and also more fulfilled. In any situation, we never truly know if what we want, who we want, or who we want to be around is actually the best fit. There's so many things that I wanted back in the day that seemed like it would be the best thing ever. It would change my life. It would be so beneficial for everyone around me. And looking back, I'm so glad I did not get those things. I'm so glad I didn't end up being around those people or in that circumstances or taking that job. And realize that each one of us has a different path. And and this is something I want to make extremely clear, because not having a healthy dose of not caring doesn't mean that you don't have intention. That doesn't mean you don't plan. That doesn't mean you don't think through what you're doing, the actions that you're taking. But what it means is you're removing your attachment to a specific outcome. It's important to let things flow naturally. And when you do this, not only do you attract the right people in the right circumstances, but it happens the way that it should. And it's this weird balancing act. And it's hard for me to perfectly contextualize it. I'm going to try to paint the picture as best I can to you. But what happened is I experienced a couple F-it moments. An F-it moment is a moment to where you're like, screw it. If it works out, cool. And if it doesn't, who cares? And when I did this, and this was not by some strategy, it wasn't this motivational book that I read. It was more so I just been through enough that I was like, screw it. And that was the moment I started being my most authentic self. I started doing what I wanted to do. I started living life fearless. And I stopped being hesitant. I stopped worrying if someone was going to like me. I wasn't afraid to speak my mind or stand up for what I believed in and go after something that was bold. I just did it. And, Steve Jobs talked about this. If you guys have ever seen his Stanford commencement speech, it's incredible. It's one of the best speeches ever. It's so simple, but just profound. And, he talks about connecting the dots backward. Most of you guys have heard that. But what he also says is that waking up and knowing that you're going to die someday is one of the most freeing feelings, because if you aren't going to die one day, nothing that you're doing in life really matters. No moment matters, no person matters, no outcome matters. But knowing that you're not going to be here forever should be more than enough for every single person that's listening to this right now to go after the things that they want in life. And that doesn't mean everybody needs to start a damn business, but start a charity. Go after something. Go talk to the person. Go ask for the meeting. Go call the account that nobody thinks that you can close. Do bold things. And, it's just like the older I get and the more successful people I'm around and the more experiences I have just personally, the more I realize that it's usually not the smartest people that win. It's just the people that bet on themselves. And I was just having a conversation with someone that's been super, super successful. And they're like, Grant, you think these people would be so smart, but they're not. And I'm like, I know, right? And I had that same experience as what they were saying. And you gotta believe in yourself. And I think everyone needs an F-it moment where they really, truly realize that, we're only here for a temporary time. And if you got your family around you, it's just an incredible blessing. And it should be an obligation to be the best version of yourself. And I don't want to look at this as just a feel-good message, but I want you to really pull back and take away and think of what are you stressing about right now? What are you worried about? And is it actually worth it? Does it make sense to just complain about the people around you? Or are you going to do something to change it? You complain about your boss all the time, but are you going to do something to change it? And when I took full accountability for my life and said, you know what, it's not other people's fault why I'm not doing the things that I want to do. It's my fault. I have to get smarter. I have to get better. And it wasn't the lack of resources. It was the lack of resourcefulness on my part. And when I had that effort moment and I said, you know what? I'm going to go all out and whatever happens, happens. And if not, I'll figure something else out. And it is what it is. And I would enter every moment with fearlessness. And that's when things started clicking. It's hard to beat someone with nothing to lose. When you start making money and doing all this stuff, that's when it gets scary. You're like, I need accountants, I need lawyers, I need this, I need that. But when you have nothing to lose, you can compete with almost anybody because you have an edge to you and you can take risks that those people can't take, those companies, that competition, that competitor, whatever the case is. And so that's the thing I want to leave you guys with is just stop tying things to the outcome. If a person that you're dating walks out, instead of fighting and pushing to try to keep them there and doing everything you can to make them like you, if they truly liked you, they probably wouldn't be having that conversation, minus a one-off situation. Just let them go. Let them walk. If you have an employee that's great and suddenly they leave and they want to go work somewhere else, well, that's difficult. You could fight and whine about it and be sad about it, or you could say, I wish you the best. Keep it moving. If you think you want this opportunity and it passes and you don't get it and it goes to somebody else, hold your head high, be a champion in defeat, and say, you know what? It's probably for the best. The right opportunity is coming. Because when you're consistently great, wherever you are, it could be as small as every time you go into the coffee shop, on the way to work, wherever you live, you're just so kind and vibrant. And then one person in the coffee shop says something to one other person, and then you introduce you, and they've already been told that you were such a nice person. They find out where you're working, and bam, you get the opportunity to get the job of a lifetime. It could be at work. It could be the receptionist. I've told the story in my podcast that there was the lowest level finance manager at a company I worked for when I was in sales that everyone was rude to. And I didn't do anything crazy. I was just kind to her. And she ended up working for a company about a year and a half or 2 years later when I started my business. She bridged the connection. We ended up doing $50 million in business between my company and the other company. $50 million. And that would have never happened unless I treated her with respect. It was interesting. I made that podcast, and then someone I used to work with listened to it and was like, man, that's true. You were like that. That's insane. And so that's my point, is stop obsessing over it working out the way you want it to, and just do the things that it takes to be successful. And the right play, the right situation will open itself up with the right people and the right circumstances. So hope you guys enjoyed this message. Got a new podcast dropping. So you guys, if y'all are new to the channel, you can check it out under the Mitt podcast or Spotify, Apple. Also, if you guys are a startup founder, salesperson, or a business owner / entrepreneur, and you want to grow your business, by approval only, we are accepting new entrepreneurs to work with over the next 6 months to grow and scale their business. We've had unbelievable success thus far. We just worked with a group of entrepreneurs that 10x their monthly recurring revenue. And so we want to work with people who are motivated, and I'll drop the link below for you guys to apply to that. Other than that, hope you guys have an incredible week. I'll talk to you guys soon. Much love.